brief description of and some housekeeping items that will be going on during this youth gathering. Some of those being so attendees are automatically muted when they join, and if you have any questions, and there's going to be definitely portions of today's interactive youth gathering where if you want to share verbally, you're more than happy to. Just please just be cognizant of muting yourself in that regards. And there will be slides and a recording provided to all of you after today's youth healing gathering. And sorry, technical difficulty. That's very interesting. My slides are not moving forward.
So, Boo, you might be able to use your arrow.
Yeah, it was. Maybe I gotta close down some things. Sorry. That might be it. Okay, so I think I'm able to. One moment. My apologies, everyone.
So while we're waiting, I don't know if you all can see me, but I'm on video. Hi, my name is Kimberly Fowler. I am the Technical Assistance and Resource Center Director here at the National Council of Urban Indian Health. I just want to welcome you all to joining this National Native Youth Healing Gathering. We're so excited for you to participate. We're really happy that we're able to share this information with you today. Our Youth Council has been working really hard and diligently, even during all of the shutdowns and closings that have been occurring. They've been trying to make sure that they prepare this for you all so that you can have this information, not only to learn about new resilience and wellness tools, but also to share about their campaign that's upcoming. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get our slide deck up and going in just a few minutes so that we can start preparations for that. And if we're not able to start sharing the screen, maybe you can close your screen, Sabu, till you get it up and running.
For sure.
And what we can do in the meantime is start with our closing. Sorry, our opening.
Yeah.
My apologies. So for today, for our opening, we're so excited to have with us today Lance Fisher, as well as Sean Ironmaker. Sean Ironmaker is a member of the Anai and Nakota Nations in North Central Montana, and Lance is coming from the Northern Cheyenne Nation of Montana. We're so happy that they can share with us in a traditional healing song to start us off in a good way today. So I'll turn it over to them. If they just want to unmute their mics for themselves, they should be able to start up.
Midagayabi. Wombligichianga. Ade. Wakpawi Chashta. Shahia Anishinaabe. Aina. Aninan. Oyatiki. Hihani washte. Hi, everybody. My name is Sean Ironmaker. I'm from the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation in Montana. What I did is I gave you an introduction in our language, the Nakota language. I said, hello, my relatives. Today's a good day. I introduced who I am. My dad, he is from the River Nakota tribe in north central Montana. Also the Cree and the Chippewa tribes. My mother is from the Aninan Nation. Our people there, they call themselves the White Clay people. And so today I wanted to share with you some words, and then I'll be sharing a healing song in respect. So thank you for your patience. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about our significance with the drum, in all of our nations. The story I want to share with you is about our belief in how the drum and how the singing, is a part of our, I guess, our soul and our purpose throughout the nations. This story is about the Creator's gift of healing with our drum. We call it chongchega. Chongchega is our drum in Nakota language and Dakota. So the story starts with talking about long ago when there was a long, hard winter. Many of our relatives, they passed into the spirit world. The wintertime was very harsh, and both the young and elderly people suffered greatly. During this winter, a man had a dream of the drum, chongchega. In his dream, he was told how to use it, was singing, how to build it, and all that went with the drum. He was told using the drum with song would heal the mourning and those with heavy hearts. When he woke up from his dream, he did as he was instructed and built the first drum. The drum and song are meant to comfort, heal, and bring happiness in our lives. The drum is known as the oldest musical instrument worldwide. The frame from the tree of life, the covering, the hide of a relative who gave nourishment for us in life, they combine together, make a drum, chongchega. The voice beat of the drum will keep negative energy away, ensuring positive energy. The beat is the heart of the people, and within your heart is where your spirit dwells. All positive feelings and healing is experienced by our spirit, our soul, and through the drum, chongchega. So I'll be sharing with you now a Braveheart song from our reservations in north central Montana for the Ani and Nakota people. Gambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sean. We really appreciate it. That was very important, and definitely the aspect of healing. At least from my perspective, I appreciate you doing that to start off this gathering.
You're welcome.
So to move on to the next part of our healing gathering, I want to first talk about some to-do or some aspects of polling that everyone had seen through Poll Everywhere. So throughout this healing gathering, to help people stay engaged, to share resources and concerns with one another, we will be having Poll Everywhere polls, and there will be links provided as those polls come. So just wanted to give a heads up, and you either could click on the link to take you to a browser to answer that question, or to give a response, or there's even a texting option. I think that will also be provided inside of the message box below. Before we get to the next part of our healing gathering, I really want to thank Unity, one of the oldest, largest Native American organizations in Indian country, to partner with us on this healing gathering. They inspire us, their youth inspire us, and we appreciate Lauren Ashley, Mary Kim, and everyone at Unity for the amazing work y'all do, and making sure that these types of collaborations are definitely continued, especially during uncertain times, I could say it in that sense. So thank you so much. Next.
I'm sorry, Sabu, I hate to interrupt, but I don't think your slides are transitioning.
No, they are.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I wanted to go ahead and do introductions. Me and Kimberly had introduced ourselves, but Lauren Ashley, if you wanted to, or if you were interested in introducing yourself later for the workshop that's going to be happening, that's pre-recorded, that Lauren Ashley did for us.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. We're so excited to be a part of today's Native Youth Gathering. And on behalf of everybody at Unity and all of our youth councils across the nation, thank you so much for partnering with us and all the hard work that your youth council, the hours that they put towards making this happen. So Istango, everyone. My name is Lauren Ashley Buford, and I am Yamasee descendant, and I come from the Oklawaha band of Yamasee Seminoles, and we are the caretakers of the Oklawaha River, which is in northern Florida. And I'm just so blessed to have the opportunity to work with Unity, and I look forward to sharing a little bit more about all the tools that Unity has that we really would like to encourage others to share on healing and how they can get involved in their communities to uplift others. So thank you again for this opportunity. I am the project manager of the Healing Indigenous Lives Initiative, which oversees the Unity Cohort. So I just want to thank all those Native youth leaders who helped contribute their videos today. Thank you.
Thank you. great way to start off this healing gathering. So the next portion of this healing gathering is going to be in regards to a little background on what to expect today. So just a high overview. So there will be a wellness best practices for Native youth during the COVID-19 pandemic for Native youth that our youth council and alumni council are collaborating throughout today's healing gathering to support on. Next, few other things that will be happening today is the youth council themselves talking about their national campaign that will be released later this month, and learning a little bit more about the Indigi-Wellness Healer campaign. And the last two parts to today is understanding what resiliency, wellness-based resiliency approaches are. And there's 3 parts to that the youth are gonna do, and there are gonna be interactive videos and things of that nature that I think would be really great for everyone today. And then finally, equally exciting, Unity having a recorded workshop on healing and including their peer guides, sharing how they stay well throughout Indian country also. So with that being said, I want to give the chance for the youth council's members, Benjamin, Serena, and alumni youth council member Faith to share a little bit about themselves.
Yeah, of course. So OCO, my name is Benjamin Sandecki, and I'm a member of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. I'm currently finishing my 4th year of pharmacy school at the Southwestern Oklahoma State College of Pharmacy. I've been serving on the Youth Council since May of 2019 with ambitions to promote wellness and resiliency among Native youth. So lastly, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today for our youth gathering. It's definitely been a process, so glad we're definitely able to provide something for you all, and we appreciate your attendance.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here and talk with you all and share with you what we have been working on. My name is Zarina Campos, and I'm a member of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. I went to undergrad at Arizona State University, go Sun Devils, and currently work at Indian Health Service in the Office of Human Resources, and I have been working there for a little over 2 years.
Faith, are you on the line?
Hi everyone, my name is Faith Bowman. So I served on last year's NCUIH Youth Council, but I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and from the Stockbridge-Muncie Bantam Mohican Nation. But I'm currently in Utah doing a PhD in biochemistry. So you'll be hearing from me later on, but thank you all for coming.
And thank you, Youth Council members and Youth Council alumni members for presenting. We have others on the phone who are also here, so thank you, Don, for joining. Glad to give a shout out to you. And so we're gonna go into, one second. We're now going to go into our next portion of our youth healing gathering. But before the youth talk about some of the ways that youth and Native youth can stay healthy during these tough times, they wanted to get ask some questions. And so there's the first question that will come up that will be done through a poll everywhere. So right now, there will soon be a link where everyone could click on from their computer, and really, I'll let Serena kind of share about this, since she's going to do this part. So Serena, if you would like to take lead on this.
Yeah, I can take the lead while we wait for answers. I know personally for me, I think the coronavirus has really impacted. I mean, it's impacted everyone's lives. And it's really hitting all of our communities right now. I know working at the Indian Health Service, I hear updates on the Navajo Nation every day. And I just want to say my hearts and prayers are with them during this time.
Yeah, and for those who are trying to take the poll, you could either text Wired Sun in capital letters, Wired Sun 334 to the number 22333, and this question, open-ended, will appear. And if you just want to take the easy route, if you're on a computer, it is in the chat box. Yeah. Feeling more tired.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
Ugh. Hopefully they reschedule for another day.
I'm sorry to hear that people are going through tough times, and definitely it definitely brings up trauma, especially in Native communities. And it is hard. I think it's hard for a lot of folks. But it's, a good way to start that process of trying to heal is doing things like this, having conversations, sharing each other's concerns, taking healthy risks, which all of you are doing today by being here, by answering these questions, by learning how else you could better support yourselves, your family, your friends, your loved ones, and just Native communities across Indian country. Professionally amazing, personally interesting. I like that. It was. I seem to have nice patience than I used to. Yeah, here to learn more on how to support each other. Good.
Yeah, these are all great answers.
Yeah, so it's youth programs this summer are going to be very impacted, but I think there's, from some of the stuff we learned today and some things that you take away, there's alternatives and things that keep you still connected with your friends, your loved ones, with your communities. So hope that after today's youth gathering, there's some tools you add to your belt to help you in your day-to-day and to help your friends and loved ones. Yes, great time for youth to make family trees. It almost feels illegal now to visit family and friends.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. Affected my program ability to travel to our Michigan tribal communities to promote suicide prevention. Yeah, that's a story that has been very common across Indian country. People unable to visit family, friends, to go to other parts of a state to help the community members that they need it the most. It's good. It's good. At least there's hopefully today's healing gathering will give you some tools and things that you could do um, to think outside of our normal means of how we operate. Just more creatively. That's good to hear that you're growing closer to your loved ones and family and friends, and spending time with them. Yeah, ceremonies are hard, not being able um, to participate in them, but there's so much that you could do, even just today, right? Like figuring out like what are ways that you can continue to do ceremonies that still gives you that peace, even if it's not exactly tradition down to the T of things of how it's supposed to be. So these are all great answers.
Yeah.
These are all like they're good because it's just you're sharing all of what's really impacting you. Yeah, technology is nice for some and definitely harder for others. But yeah, I have my family's across the country, and so the only thing I could do is Zoom and like whatever else I could like try to like figure out. Meditate, participate in certain things culturally. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, that your language camp got canceled. But maybe there's some alternatives to that. I know that like when we think like gathering of Native Americans, that's a specific, cultural focused program that, is trying to take steps towards seeing what can you do virtually, even though it's heavily focused in person. So, okay, I think I'm, I appreciate the the all the information and all the concerns you guys given us, and some, some good things, some gems in the process of this as well. There's always, so is how do you what can you do to think about things a little more positive at times. So appreciate everyone's responses. Are to We have two more questions, and then we'll go into our next part of this healing gathering. And this one is uh, uh, from Unity, and we're just trying to try to understand from a perspective of youth in the juvenile justice system. And it could be people, it could be, yourselves that that COVID-19 has impacted Native youth who are a part of the juvenile justice system. So if you could just share with us, what are some things that you've heard that have impacted Native youth in being involved in the juvenile justice system? Canceled all events and opportunities for growth. Yeah, that's it's kind of like the first thing that you see is at times. Yeah, I agree. The not having stable or safe households, it definitely creates a different burden on and impact on the youth, on Native youth who are part of a juvenile justice system, or part of that where they get more into trouble and other things that might impact them as a result of not wanting to be at home, not wanting to stay at the house. Any incarceration increases risk of exposure. Yeah, I agree. Any risk, anybody going to jail, especially jails and prisons, like there have been spikes in those facilities because of a lack of resources, right? Like kind of like the number one reason behind a lot of the disparities we see in different populations, but definitely for Native youth as well. More drug and alcohol use. Without programs, youth are going into the system due to criminal activities. Yeah, keeping youth connected to their culture, connected to being productive, or just to being engaged in something positive, and taking that away, it definitely see some the challenges as a result of that. My young cousin is currently in prison, and I've read an article that the number of cases are rising where he's located. Oh, I'm sorry that your cousin's going through that. What I have been hearing in regards to specific things around like cases in prisons and in jails, like they're releasing people more now, depending on where you're at. Obviously, I think different states have different rules, but to kind of reduce the outbreak in certain states, people are, non-offenders are being released. So hopefully, that's the case for your cousin too. Like they let people go, not to keep them like exposed, or potentially exposed. Grateful for youth groups who are trying to keep in touch with youth who need support in creative ways. Yeah, and we're grateful for all of you to join as well. Oh, my prayers and my condolences. I'm sorry to hear about the loss. It is unfortunately been something that pre-existed before COVID in Native communities, but I could see where spikes of it or aspects of it getting worse for different folks, just because of isolation or social distancing could play a role. Well, thank you all. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad we had to ask this question. It's good to bring the light to help. It's good to bring to light to help address. Yeah, I agree. I think it is challenging, but it's definitely helpful to bring this up, right? Like people now are learning, and they're like, how what else can we do? Like what could be done? Like if there isn't safer homes, what is an alternative a tribe could do? What is an alternative a community could do to try to help with Native youth in the juvenile justice system, coming together and being supportive. So our last question, and this one's more around how you kind of answered this to some extent on the first question, but like how's people feeling? Like I know that there was some answers around like isolation, and different things, but anything else that people want to share? I know for myself, I live in DC right now, so it's like crammed, a lot of people. I don't have like access to open spaces like that, so I think for me it's like being kind of cooped, and being like in a space where I prefer to be outdoors in nature. It impacts me. Serena, do you want to share anything? What's some of your struggles that you, or things you want to share in regards to this?
Yeah, I mean, we can relate because we both live in DC, but it's definitely hard. I just feel like I'm cooped up in a small apartment, and I was definitely anxious at the very beginning of the pandemic. I just kept watching the news every day, and then now I find myself, I saw an answer earlier, it said that they felt more tired, and for myself, I feel definitely more unproductive as the days just feel kind of endless and they all start to merge together, because it's like Groundhog Day, the movie. I don't know if people have seen that, but it's like the same thing every day.
I totally agree. My family's out in California, and so having access to like mountains and
Yeah,
like nature, and then saying like now it's like creating your own mountains in the house, like creating your own like kind of like a virtual aspect of feeling like you're somewhere else.
yeah.
Yes, meditation, prayers, grounding, creating alternative indoor, outdoor. Oh, that's good. I moved literally in the middle of a pandemic, but it was only a mile, but it felt like 100. So uh, it's hard. We're humans, right? Humans are interactive. We're meant to always socialize and be connected. So I definitely having this moment that we're living in, and I say moment because I have hope. Like I think eventually things will get better, but trying to take it day by day, seeing what you could do today to keep yourself happy, and what you could do tomorrow to keep yourself happy is the best we could do to reduce anxiety. Frustrated not being able to give youth the escape they need with restrictions in place. Concerned of my own kids as they're struggling with the lack of connection with family and friends. Yeah, it's it takes a toll on on youth, right? I mean, my partner's brother has little kids, young kids, and they're so nice, joyous, and happy. But being in the house all the time for the last 2 months, and we FaceTime them, you could see like behavioral change. Like they're you kind of get fed up of like the same thing. So finding new ways um, to stay engaged, to keep things fresh. Yes, depressed. It's a one thing about the isolation piece. It's like it definitely takes a toll on our mental wellness. Um, I'm glad someone said they felt more inspired, although they had felt sad with the cancellation of powwows and other um, celebrations of spirituality. Yeah, um, I think trying to find new ways with technology, if you have access, I think that's like a big thing. Like if you have access, then creating like this youth healing gathering, creating spaces where people could look forward to something, right? Like Native communities could be like, that's happening in 2 weeks. And I think Unity has a whole bunch of things coming up, and so do the NCUIH Youth Council, but definitely others like thinking about those things too. Yeah, gratitude is a good way to like writing, journaling, uh, thinking about what are the things you're blessed with, even though it's hard. Well, this was good. I appreciate everyone's responses. So without further ado, I will let Serena and Benjamin kind of talk about a little bit about the background and the inception of the Youth Council. So Serena and Ben, the mic's all yours.
Yeah, thanks, Sabu. So I just wanted to provide a little fact real quick before I get started into the background of our Youth Council inception. Many of today's urban Indians are in cities because of the government's relocation program that occurred in the 1950s and 60s. At this point, Indians were promised jobs and opportunities in exchange for leaving their homeland. The termination of tribal roles, extreme poverty on reservations, and federal government pressure placed on Indians to assimilate into mainstream society contributed to this movement to urban areas. So with that being said, just kind of the background of what we do, we're here to help raise awareness about suicide prevention and substance misuse for urban American Indians and Alaskan Native youth from ages up to 24, promoting a healthy transition into adulthood. With this, NCUIH provides us with us as in the Youth Council with various trainings focused on behavioral health education, leadership development, intertribal cross-cultural learning, suicide prevention, substance misuse, mental health wellness, and trauma for the youth, for us to provide education on a local and national level. All members of the Youth Council are American Indian and Alaskan Native youth living in urban areas that represent different regions of the nation. And just a fact, according to the 2010 census, approximately 71 of us Native youth live in urban cities or metropolitan areas. So that's just some kind of facts about, what our goals are and, kind of a background of the Youth Council.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you all for sharing earlier. And I just want to make sure that you guys keep those answers in the back of your mind as we go through other topics later, and see if you can take some of these wellness strategies and practices that we go over and implement them in your life. It sounds like some of you guys are already doing that. So the Youth Council promotes peer level awareness and support as the second cohort. This year's Youth Council wanted to focus on prevention of substance misuse, trauma-informed care, suicide prevention, mental health wellness, youth dating violence, sexual assault prevention, and promoting healthy relationships. We decided on these topics because we not only wanted to learn about them, but we also wanted to address these issues by creating this gathering and the social media campaigns that we will talk about shortly in this presentation. Next slide. So after discussing the topics that we wanted to address, we decided to expand the mission and vision that the inaugural Youth Council created. So that reads, as the NCUIH Youth Council, we aim to promote urban Native communities to provide accessible resources and opportunities to American Indian and Alaska Native youth with the goal of empowering their cultural, spiritual, and physical health while inspiring them to expand their minds, healing, improve their health, develop healthy relationships, resiliency, and speak their voice. We strive to reduce the mental and suicidal burden, as well as community violence, dating violence, and sexual assault among Native youth by building a global network in which American Indian and Alaskan Native youth share and exchange ideas, knowledge, resources, and support. Next slide. So now that you know the background behind the Youth Council, we wanted to start off this gathering by taking a pause and acknowledging that the challenging time that we are all living in. We are in the middle of a pandemic response marathon. It is expected that we will move through this marathon in phases, initially running off of stress, feeling moody with others, feeling anxious, and having difficulty sleeping. This is normal, and as a Native youth, we will need to take breaks and pauses. A sprinter's pace is just not sustainable, and breaks also allow for an additional opportunity to wash your hands. Next slide. We will now show a short video that was done in partnership. Oh, sorry, Kimberly, if you want to cue up the video. This video was in partnership by the Northwest Native American Center of Excellence, We Are Native, We Are Healers, and the Northwest Portland Area Indian Health Board, in a campaign to exercise safe sweats and what Natives can do to stay safe and well during COVID-19. When watching this video, please note any unique ways Native youth and Native communities are doing to stay safe and well during these challenging times.
Sweats and ceremonies are important to me. My way of life, my family, my community.
However, if I go, I'm not protecting myself and people I love if I spread the coronavirus.
Our leaders and experts say the virus can be spread by someone even if they do not feel sick.
And if this virus spreads to people with health problems like diabetes or kidney disease,
it can really hurt them.
COVID-19 is a sad reminder of the ancestors that we have lost to diseases of the past.
Elders told me to adapt by practicing our ways and working up a sweat at home.
Exercising my beliefs at home is the best way to keep my family, community, and elders safe.
Now, I am being prayerful and protecting my people, the knowledge keepers, and our ways of life. Together,
we will
grow stronger.
Thank you. I really like that video. So after watching this video, we would like to ask another question. What did you notice in this video that Native youth and Native people were doing to stay safe and well during these times? Yeah, staying active, prayer. Yeah, exactly. Protecting elders. I think that's very important. Yeah, laughter is definitely medicine. It is for me, at least. Oh, I see some in the chat. That was really good. Yeah, I really like that video. And then practicing their culture. Healthy living. It's important to live healthy in order to carry tradition so we can be there to help lead in later times. Yes, exactly. Returning to traditional way of life. So we have a question. Can we share that video on Facebook? Yes, I believe so. We didn't personally make that, but I think they would like that video to be shared. Believe it is more effective to have messages from those you can relate to. Yes, I agree. Definitely. Oh, and then Kimberly just posted the link in case anyone wants to bookmark that. Well, thank you all for sharing. I think we can go on to the next slide. So now we want to talk about coronavirus self-care strategies for Native youth and young adults. I think these strategies are important to implement in your life. So next slide. So what are some mindful strategies that can help with our well-being? Research shows that being more present and in our daily lives improves happiness, helps us better adapt to stress responses, and increases our physical and mental well-being. Some mindful practices include yoga, meditation, journaling, creating to-do lists, and breathing exercise. These strategies really allow you to refocus yourself and recenter. And I know it's really easy, especially for me, to start thinking about the future or even the past. So I think it's important to kind of refocus yourself on what you can do now in the present, even if it's a small task like getting out of bed or just picking up a book. Next slide. Yeah, so sorry. So self-care is so important, especially during these uncertain times. Self-care promotes self-confidence and positivity, which can reduce your anxiety or stress levels. Taking care of yourself and even your families and friends can reduce stress levels. Helping others cope with their stress is also a rewarding feeling, and you can make your community stronger by sharing any self-care techniques that you already incorporate in your life. So some other strategies listed here are to maintain a normal routine as much as possible by having consistent times for snacks, eating, physical activity, relaxation, and bedtime. If you can, create even more time to pick up another hobby or relax. Another idea is to share family stories or read a book on the strength and resilience of our ancestors who have lived through challenging times like this. We have listed some great book recommendations and would like to mention the last bullet, which is titled Our Smallest Warriors, Our Strongest Medicine, Overcoming COVID-19. This is a storybook for Indigenous children and families that was developed by the Johns Hopkins Center for American Indian Health with the Intertribal Working Group and Native Youth Illustrator. Another important strategy is to practice healthy sleeping habits as best as you can given the circumstances. We know that it's difficult and how easy it is to stay up and watch TV or scroll through your phone. Even getting a good night's sleep can be easier said than done, especially when anxious, stressed, or even depressed. When possible, try to make your bedroom a stress-free zone. Try to do all of your activities outside of the bedroom. I will admit I am in my bedroom right now, but it is for a good reason. I have a big humidifier outside, so I'm trying to keep that sound out of here, but I definitely don't like that I'm in my bedroom. Also avoid using your phone, computer, or TV to read and watch stressful information while in bed. This will help preserve your bed as a peaceful place for rest and relaxation. The next strategy is to look into various apps for additional support and social connection. There's an app for almost everything, and it's helpful to have apps that support self-care through meditation, breathing, staying organized, acupressure, sleep hygiene, and exercise routines. Some apps that we recommend are the Indigi-Wellness Warrior app. This app is designed to encourage American Indian people to live healthier lifestyles through cultural approaches. There are several sections that make up the app as a whole, which include a wellness tracker, a fitness time tracker, culture sharing around the regional unity fires, and a project planning template. There's also the Liberate Meditation app, which is a really cool application for Native youth to practice self-guided meditation tailored for Indigenous people. The smartphone application is dedicated to empower Indigenous and people of color communities on their journey to find inner peace. It has trainers that professionally guide you on your path to daily peace and wellness. And I think we're also going over that app a little more later in the presentation. And on top of that, there are so many apps to stay connected to your friends and family through virtual multi-user activity platforms like the one we are using today, Zoom. And then there's others listed, House Party, Steam, and Jackbox Games. Next slide. Hello? Cebu, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
All right. No, it's okay. And so just as important to remember, be kind to others and yourself. These are incredibly trying times at work, at home, in our relationships, and in our communities. Decisions will be made that you may disagree with. You may feel a sense of loss as routines are severely interrupted and celebrations and gatherings are canceled, which someone did mention earlier. But it's important just to be kind, kindness towards yourself and others, and it's key to maintaining our collective health. So during this time, it's important to maintain a sense of hope and positive thinking. Consider keeping a journal where you write down things that you're grateful for or that are going well. I think some people also answered that earlier in the questions, staying on a positive note. Also trying to find the silver lining during this time. Do you find yourself with more free time to try that new recipe or to pick up a new skill? There's a great website called Skillshare that has online classes and tutorials ranging from creativity to technology. And they can be long or short videos depending on the skill that you want to learn. And this is a time to really look for opportunities for self-discovery and also just take care of your mind and spirit. And then lastly, and most importantly, is to seek help when you need it. COVID has impacted everything in our lives. Hearing and talking about the pandemic repeatedly can be upsetting and, overbearing. It's okay not to feel normal during this time. What everything going through right now is difficult. And with that being said, I hope that you all found these strategies helpful and take them into consideration, especially as we move into some deeper topics today.
So thank you, Serena, for that. So we have another section of questions, and these questions are more trying to get to understand how comfortable you feel, like youth and participants who are joining today with sharing certain things and topics that you would discuss with other youth, how comfortable you feel in regards to these topics. So the first question is how comfortable do you feel how comfortable do you feel discussing the concept of wellness with Native youth? It is there's a 5 scale system. 1 being you don't feel comfortable at all. 2, you feel somewhat comfortable. 3, neutral. So if you just type in like the number, and then 4, obviously comfortable, and 5, very comfortable. So how comfortable do you feel about discussing the concept of wellness with Native youth, with other Native youth? Good. 4, pretty solid. 4, 5, 5. I mean, this is great. I think it's great just to be able to feel comfortable enough and confident in your comfort to share wellness with other youth. I think it's an important piece when thinking about how do you help the next 7 generations, right? The aspect of being Native, like how can you help the next 7 generations? And that starts with your peers, that starts with your family members, that starts with your kids, that starts with your friends and loved ones. So being able to do that is great, and knowing that people here today feel that they feel comfortable talking about wellness, that's a great step. So thank you all for sharing that. Sorry. One moment. Technical difficulty. Sorry, everyone. Give me a second. One moment. My mouse wants to have a mind of its own. Oh, that's why it's not working. There's just it's frozen for it. Oh, here we go. Great thing about technology is it connects you, and then there's the things around broadband that that do things like this, where you see this. I call this the circle of death because it just keeps turning really slow. But
Sabu, would you
hopefully,
like me to share my slides until it gets back up and running?
yes, please, if you can.
Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe not.
Nope, I will.
Sabu, if you can stop sharing your screen for a second, I'll share mine till you get to the point.
Okay.
There you go. And if someone can just let me know, sorry, who's presenting the next slide, I can just scroll up to the next one, sorry.
Yeah, so the next, I'm still presenting, so the next question would be, how it's another comfortability question. Just trying to get it up.
Is this what it is, what I'm sharing?
It's slide 37.
How comfortable do you feel discussing the concept of healthy relationships with Native youth?
Correct.
And I believe people can still use the app to select your responses, or feel free to put it into the chat as well. We won't be able to see it live, but Andrew, you might be able to share with us what's going on in the background. So I see a couple of, a kind of a mix, 4s, 3.5s, and 5s. Okay. maybe an average of a 4 out of all the responses that I see in the chat so far.
Yeah, this is really good. It's good to know that participants here feel comfortable talking about healthy relationships, since that is definitely an area of concern, right, for Native communities, through the trauma, through some of the things that the youth will be kind of discussing later, but just being able to talk to someone, to let them know like how to be better for themselves, for their loved ones, is really empowering and inspiring to even just know from your responses. So thank you all.
I think I missed one other poll too.
Yeah.
How comfortable do you feel discussing the concept of resilience with Native youth? 1 is very uncomfortable, 2 is uncomfortable, 3 is neutral, 4 is comfortable, and 5 is very comfortable. Again, that's how comfortable do you feel discussing the concept of resilience with Native youth? Awesome, we have a lot of 5s in here. That's great.
That's really good.
Thank you all for sharing. So we're probably at an average of comfortable, if you will, 4.5 maybe.
Yeah. I think it's an important aspect of in the Native community, like resilience, and it will be talked about later. But it's just knowing that you feel like participants and youth joining feel comfortable with sharing that with others, because knowledge is it's medicine, right? Like knowing how to add more things to your tools, to things to your own medicine that helps you. Always that gives light to finding a way to stay centered, to get back to a place where when it's rough, like you have something to always like do, and that's helpful, that's healthy, that's well. So thanks for being comfortable with wanting to share that with others as well.
Are your slides back up?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen and give it back over to you.
Let me just. Sorry. One second. Just trying to show it from the screen that it was at. Okay, here we go. Slideshow. Current slide. And let me know when everyone could see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. So, wanted to share. So now I'm giving it to Serena and Benjamin, where they will be discussing the purpose of their national suicide and youth dating violence, sexual assault prevention campaigns. Mike's all yours, council members.
Yeah, so as we continue with this gathering, we want to provide the purpose of our two campaigns that we based on mental wellness and healthy relationships. So the purpose of our campaigns are to empower Native youth to use strength-based approaches to address historical trauma, intergenerational trauma, and to build youth resiliency that promotes generational healing. We also wanted to raise awareness of suicide and substance abuse for Native youth 24 years of age and younger, and also bring greater attention to lateral violence, sexual assault, and dating violence among Indigenous youth 24 years old and younger. So for our first campaign, this one is focused on mental wellness, and we came up with a hashtag, which is Native Healing. The goal for this campaign was to connect Native youth to youth-driven resources that build resilience, promote healing and wellness, and empower Native youth to overcome challenges by making healthy choices to heal the next 7 generations, to overcome suicide and substance abuse. So the 3 objectives: we want to train youth on a basic understanding of historical and intergenerational trauma, empower them on overcoming mental health and substance abuse challenges by making healthy choices in their everyday lives, raise awareness of suicide and substance abuse for Native youth 24 years of age and younger, and inspire Native youth sharing stories on how they are able to heal and help others and are resilient in their everyday lives. So our next campaign was to promote healthy relationships. So we came up with the hashtag Indigi-Love, short for Indigenous love. So the goal for this one is to use our national platform to amplify Native youth voices, sharing stories of healing, fostering resilience while advocating for policy. And the 3 objectives for this campaign was to bring greater attention to sexual assault, dating violence, and lateral violence among Indigenous youth, inspire Native youth by showing them how they are resilient, how they are able to heal, love themselves, their family, friends, and partners. And then empower Native youth to use strength-based approaches to address historical and intergenerational trauma, lateral violence, build resiliency, promote healthy relationships, generational healing, and connect youth with Native youth-driven resources. So to promote and bring further attention to mental wellness and substance abuse, sexual assault, and dating violence among youth in Indian country, NCUIH and partnering organizations are sponsoring our campaigns, and we're asking all of you to become Indigi-Wellness Healers. So what is an Indigi-Wellness Healer? They're someone that embraces their Indigenous identity, uses their culture to be a shield to protect them, while also knowing when to get help if needed. They use various platforms to provide tools to heal and maintain self-awareness, as well as healing and promoting wellness to other Native youth. They also promote positive change for mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health and sharing their stories. They also use strength-based healing approaches in their everyday lives, and Ben will talk about these later, but they are staying informed on issues that impact youth, build resiliency, promote healthy relationships, and generational healing, and connect youth with Native youth-driven resources to empower future generations. So you can become an Indigi-Wellness Healer through one of the campaigns and have a chance to win prizes. So the first way is to use the Indigi-Love campaign by creating a post using our hashtag image and infographic link. The post should share a photo or video of yourself, family, friends, or of your partner. In the caption, please share what does it mean to be an Indigi-Wellness Healer, and how do you build healthy relationships with friends, family, and or partners to promote generational healing and wellness in your community. The second way is through the Native Healing campaign. The rules are similar to the Indigi-Love campaign, but if using this campaign, you will create a post that shows a photo or video of yourself, family, friends, or hobbies as examples of ways you keep your Indigenous identity strong. The caption should answer these questions: what does it mean to be an Indigi-Wellness Healer, and how do you stay healthy and resilient while maintaining wellness in your community? So for the requirements, the post should be on a social media platform, so Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Please make sure that your account is set to public for NCUIH's office to view your submission. Always get parental permission before posting any youth content online if you're under 18 years old. Create your post by using the Youth Council's hashtag image and infographic link representing Indigi-Love or Native Healing campaign, and also include NCUI's Youth Council hashtags. So a link that will provide all this information and the steps, including the hashtag image and infographic link, will be released soon. So once you create your post, please submit your entry through NCUI's Youth Council entry form, which will also be released soon. So please be on the lookout for both of these links. So for the first prize winner, they will receive a Beats by Dre Studio 3 Bluetooth wireless headphones with mic and noise canceling bundle. The second place winner will receive a JBL Flip 4 portable Wi-Fi speaker and bottle bundle. Third place winner will win an ultrasonic LED light aroma oil diffuser with remote control and Indigenous gear bundle. So the campaign period will start May 28th, which is next Thursday, and it will end June 12th, 2020. So if you have, and the winners will be announced the last week of June. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact the Senior Manager for Communications and Events. It's Meredith Raimondi, sorry if I said that wrong, or our Public Health Associate, Sabu. I don't know how to say your last name, but Sabu's right there. So yes, please contact them if you have any questions or comments. I'm gonna now turn it over to Ben, who's gonna further talk about the terms and objectives that were used in our campaigns.
So thank you, Serena. There was a question here asking everyone in a slide, and we talked about, you know, Serena talked about what it means to be an Indigi-Wellness warrior. So, or not, Indigi-Wellness healer. And so we wanted to know what are some ways that you embrace your Indigenous identity? What are some things you do to stay connected to your culture, to your people, to your tribe, that keeps you intact, that keeps you whole? And there is a link, I think, that would be provided to people to answer the question. Yes, reading, singing. And I think there's also responses that are being gone through. Oh no, there wasn't. Sorry. But yeah, beating and singing. I think those are really good. Anyone else? What do you do on your day-to-day basis? Language. Very true. Being able to speak another language and to speak a language that is older than anything on this this area. I mean, so that's empowering. That's empowering to have that, if you have the access to have that. Take part in powwows, visiting elders, sharing like my culture at school. Yeah, sharing it amongst other people. It's big. It's huge. Teaching something simple to children about their cultural identity, even if it's a small thing, it makes a big difference. Yeah, I think just a little, just something that keeps them grounded. I mean, my family's globally indigenous, from Egypt and current day Turkey. So that was most of my childhood. Like being connected to the language, being connected to food, to the way food is prepared and eaten, what's taboo, things of that nature. So it was, I agree. Burning sage, praying to the Creator, being thankful every day that we are here. Wholeheartedly agree. I think just doing those things as Native folks, I think is huge. It's a big. It if that's your medicine and then it keeps you grounded, then continue to do it. Speak positively about your tribe and your community. Yes, I agree. And we're definitely going to touch base on lateral violence when we think about what that means to Native communities, what that means to your tribe and other groups. So yeah, being able, that's definitely a great way to embrace your indigenous identity. Well, this is good. I appreciate how all the great stuff. Using cedar sage, cultural storytelling, encouraging all to express their native language and laugh. Big, all of those. 100. All of those are facts. I agree. Thanks everyone for sharing with us. I think, and this is also a great learning piece for everyone else. Like there are definitely a lot of urban Native youth who don't sometimes have that access, right? That access to culture, to elders. So yeah, Native humor. Growing up as the only child in West Virginia, I used to sit in the backyard and whistle to the birds. Still do. Whistling water clan. Nice. Very good. I've never been to West Virginia, but now you have, and when things calm down, I might go sit at a tree one day and partake in that. So with that being said, I wanted to go to the next slide. Which is another question. Sorry. How do you, so we talked about in what keeps you grounded in your indigenous identity, but how do you maintain well? How do you stay healthy? How do you stay resilient in your communities? What have you had to do alternatively? I know that some of our urban Indian health organizations do have done stuff like smokeless smudges just for sake of certain things that you can't do. So like I thought that was interesting to share, to have youth to participate in, even if they couldn't burn necessarily, do a smudge with actually burning it, going outside. Yeah, it's easy to stay indoors, but yeah, just taking a walk, hunting, gathering, preparing native foods, reaching out to check in on others. Big, those are huge. Those are both important ways to definitely maintain wellness and stay healthy. Anything else from others? Any new ways you've had to kind of some creative ways to stay healthy because of circumstances in your respective regions in Indian country? Respecting others and our surroundings. Yeah, it's huge. Using use of talking circles, virtual now. Yeah, they are coming around, and they're being utilized more, and I think that's really good. I always tell my dad, like, man, I can imagine, like, you being younger in Egypt and something like this happened, like there's no internet, so I think that it's a little bit of a blessing if you're able to have the access to technology to stay connected. Going on runs with my community, helping those who can't go outside. Yeah, especially elders, right? Like going to get them the groceries or things that they can't do because they're even more at risk. Understanding how diabetes and sugar foods really affect our bodies, like crystal cutting our organs and consuming too much. Yeah, it's silent. It's a silent way of of hurting ourselves because we just don't realize, from drinking like sodas to putting extra sugar in things. It definitely takes a toll. Taking care of animals, oh yeah, that's very therapeutic. Like I love animals. I just don't have the space to have one. Maybe now I do. This apartment allows me to have like a dog or something, so I might do that. Gardening, yes, huge. Like my parents had, like they love to plant things. We have like 7 different like fruits and grape leaves and whatever, and they always are, you know, it's nice. They appreciate the fruit of their labor, right, from getting that. So yeah, gardening is big. I agree, it's very therapeutic. Yeah, this was good. We really appreciate you sharing what keeps your indigenous identity strong, and what helps you maintain wellness and stay healthy. I want to let y'all know there's only one more question, and it's about the concept of discussing healing with youth. So, you know, like similar to the comfortability question before, you know, how comfortable do you feel on a scale of 1 to 5? You know, 1 being I don't feel comfortable at all, somewhat comfortable, 3 neutral, 4 comfortable, or 5 really comfortable. With discussing the concept of healing with Native youth or your peers. 4, good. 5, good. It's really good to see that's, you know, people here, Native folks here, youth and other participants feel that way, and that means that it's easier for you to have a conversation with someone who might be going through tough times, and do however we can do for one another to support them. It's good to have resources available when you start this discussion. 100% agree. I'm a 5. I think that our youth have something to teach us as well. Yeah, definitely. Youth have the answers that sometimes we don't think about, but they see, they learn, they're cognizant, they pick up things, and they have their own challenges that sometimes, you know, community members might not know of, but yeah, they are part of the solution. So thank you. This was good. I'm glad to hear that everyone feels comfortable discussing the concept of healing with Native youth. There's no more questions, so they're good. I wasn't gonna tell you there was one more, but there's. So I'm gonna hand it over to Benjamin, who will discuss on terms that are used within the campaign to educate folks on, to educate youth here on, and the bigger purpose behind those meetings. But Benjamin, the mic's all yours.
Yeah, thanks, Sabu. And first off, I want to just thank everyone for answering those polling questions, and providing and sharing us with how each of you stay well and build healthy relationships within your communities. Before I go any further, I'd like to provide an understanding of a few terms that we have used throughout our campaign. These terms include trauma, intergenerational trauma, historical trauma, lateral violence, strength-based approach, and resilience. So a common term we use during our campaign is trauma. Some of you may wonder what trauma exactly is. Trauma refers to experiences that cause intense physical and psychological stress reactions. It can refer to a single event, multiple events, or a set of circumstances experienced by a person that can be physically or emotionally harmful and threatening that has lasting effects on the person's well-being. This leads us to historical trauma. So what is historical trauma? Dr. Maria Yellow Horse Braveheart was a Native American social worker, associate professor, and mental health expert who coined the model of historical trauma. Her motto later was expanded to encompass Indigenous populations across the world. Historical trauma is the collective experiences of traumatic events that affect a person, which continues to affect generations that follow. Most importantly, this subtype of trauma addresses ways to adopt healing methods that are healthy and tailored to one's culture. Intergenerational trauma involves understanding of our history, where we come from, and our impact on the community we live. This understanding allows us to help future generations. Intergenerational trauma occurs when internalized trauma is not resolved, which is then passed down to other generations. When one generation does not heal from a traumatic experience, this experience becomes normalized. These feelings are then passed to friends and family of future generations. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's Gathering of Native Americans Curriculum and Facilitator Guide, lateral violence is referred to as internalized colonialism. It is caused by colonization that created a hierarchy of fear-based power and control techniques such as genocide, death, and threats, the male gender, and economic power. Lateral violence may also be described as anger that is directed towards those who will not retaliate. Examples of those who will not retaliate include our own group when someone is viewed as a threat to power. When discussing lateral violence, there are several levels that must be identified. Mild examples include subtle forms of eye-rolling, name-calling, or teasing. Moderate forms of violence include practical jokes that result in injury or taunting. The most extreme forms of lateral violence result in physical harm, possibly even death. Lateral violence may begin as harmless behaviors that may become very harmful and eventually result in serious injury. Key characteristics of lateral violence are critical to understand. Individuals who treat others by forms of lateral violence repeat original oppressions by oppressing those around them. Often, we as individuals are harder on ourselves than our oppressors. Because of this, we usually find techniques to normalize the lateral violence we are experiencing within our lives. We intensely focus on the negative in another person or group. Any piece of information can be twisted to become negative, assumptive, or fear-based until someone has been labeled bad or wrong. Lateral violence may also be understood as a result of internalized oppression. You go to the next slide, Sabu. Thank you. So this slide talks about strength-based approach. The term strength-based approach focuses on the positive experiences of an individual or a group, highlighting unique strengths and abilities. This approach is used in various ways to help Native youth overcome challenges they may be facing, while also guiding the mind to stay positive, uplifting, and supportive. Shortly in the presentation, we will watch a short video on how strength-based approaches help us maintain wellness. Creating resiliency may be an additional alternative for Native youth to decolonize their minds. Creating resiliency may have a positive effect on personal attitude, families, and our peers that we surround ourselves with. Resiliency is the process of adapting well in the face of challenges, trauma, or significant amounts of stress. Being resilient does not mean that a person doesn't have to be experiencing any trouble or current distress. This leads us to the road to resilience is likely to involve considerable emotional distress. So Youth Council member Serena covered 4 or 5 steps in what it means to be an Indigenous wellness healer. We still have one step that has not been covered yet. This approach includes the following 3 steps: staying informed about wellness issues in your communities and within Indian country, understand a strength-based approach to healing and wellness, and how an Indigi-Wellness Healer maintains wellness and helps others heal. So this is important for Native youth to stay informed and connected about concerns that impact the wellness of their families, friends, and community members throughout Indian country. According to the National Congress of American Indians, more than 1.2 million American Indian and Alaskan Native youth are under the age of 25, making up nearly 42% of the total Native population. The current U.S. population is made of 34% of individuals being under the age of 25. These numbers matter as Native youth must mobilize together to establish a network supported by staying informed and connected throughout Indian country. Establishing this network will ensure the next 7 generations are more resilient, healthier, and loving. Jordan Marie Daniel, a Native youth, ran the Boston Marathon with a red handprint over her mouth to symbolize the women who have been silenced by violence. She dedicated each mile of her race to different missing women, totaling 26 women in all. In an interview conducted after the race, Daniel stated, "I felt so proud and so honored to be able to run this run for those 26 women and for my grandfather. None of it had anything to do with me. I just had to provide the body to run those miles." Jordan is a prime example of how Native youth can stay connected and informed while simultaneously remaining positive. On this slide, figure A displays several important facts. The suicide rates for American Indian and Alaskan Native youth ages 10 to 24 are much higher than any other ethnicity in the United States. The rate of suicide for American Indian and Alaskan Native continued to be higher than any other ethnicity until Native youth reached their early 40s. It is important that we provide resources and preventative interventions to reduce these high-risk age groups from suicide. One way to overcome this challenge is to encourage relatives to become a reliable support system for their family members. This bar graph displays the suicide rate by age for non-Hispanic American Indian and Alaskan Natives compared to the U.S. average. Suicide rates for American Indian and Alaskan Native youth ages 15 to 24 are much higher than any other age group included in this graphic. To reduce these increased rates, it is vital to develop strategies that will allow healing of experienced traumas and promote wellness. This slide provides information regarding teen dating and sexual assault statistics among American Indian and Alaskan Native youth. Teen dating violence rates among high school students in Alaska's Native communities was 13.3% compared to the national average of 9.8%. American Indian and Alaskan Native are 2.5 times more likely to experience sexual assault crimes compared to all other ethnicity groups within the U.S. American Indian and Alaskan Native youth issues include rape, physical violence, and stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 3 American Indian Alaskan Native women reports have been raped during her lifetime. 4 out of every 10 American Indian and Alaskan Native and non-Hispanic Black women have experienced rape, physical violence, and/or stalking by an intimate partner within their lifetime. These statistics prove that we must acquire strategies to uplift our peers and support our Native communities in need. This slide provides information regarding relationships and pinpoints some youth issues. Violent relationships in adolescence can lead to a higher risk of substance abuse, eating disorders, risky sexual behavior, and domestic violence. Statistics show 1 in 10 high school students have been hit, slapped, or harmed by a significant other. This slide also shows that more than 1 in 3 Two-Spirit Native Americans reported missing classes at least 1 month for fear of being bullied or harassed. Two-Spirit Native LGBTQIA students experience physical violence because of their sexual orientation. According to a Missing and Murdered Women and Girls report issued by the Urban Indian Health Institute, on some reservations, women are murdered at a rate 10 times higher than the national average. Other statistics include 506 cases across 71 urban cities. 128 of those were cases of missing Indigenous women. 280 were cases of murdered Indigenous women. 98 were cases with an unknown status. And the average age of the missing and murdered women and girls victims were 29 years old. So according to the 2015 National Survey on Drug Use and Health, use of illicit substances among American Indian and Alaskan Native 12 years of age and older was 54%. Nearly 23% of American Indian and Alaskan Natives 12 years of age and older used illicit drugs in the past year. This data supports the need of national awareness campaigns across Indian country to address these youth issues. So after explaining the following information, or the previous information and statistics of Native issues, we have a polling question. And we want to know, what do you think leads Native youth to substance abuse, experiencing mental health concerns, and or teen and young adult dating violence? So feeling alone and not knowing their worth, historical trauma, learning from family, something common they see in their community, lack of self-worth. Those are all good responses. Being disconnected. Give you all just a few more seconds and then we'll move on to the next polling question. So no positive adult role model to look up to, trauma and lack of support from family, boarding school treatment, lack of support from family. Looks like lack of support is definitely a factor. Thank you very much for your responses. We'll go to the next question. So this question asks, what are some resources such as programs, cultural activities, trainings, or equipment that can help Native youth deal with substance abuse, mental health concerns, and or teen and young adult dating violence? So please go ahead and submit your answers to the poll. Native connection programs. Establishment of youth groups in each community. Ceremonies. Behavioral health services. It's definitely important. So it definitely looks like education and behavioral health programs are beneficial resources for the Native youth. Learning a new instrument is definitely a good one. Unity. So just a few more seconds to submit some answers. Native youth groups, urban Indian organizations. Different groups. All right, well, thank you so much for those answers. We greatly appreciate your participation. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next part of the slideshow. So as previously mentioned, it is important that Native youth stay informed on concerns that impact the wellness communities throughout Indian country. Research shows that incorporating strength-based approaches to address health and wellness concerns has a significant impact on the quality of life for Native youth. So we have included a brief YouTube video of how a Native youth from California has learned to heal and overcome trauma. During this video, please make note of what unique strengths are used by the individual to overcome her trauma, heal, and empower other Native youth within her community.
We don't have to fit in, like we can just be ourselves. And we are miracles because our ancestors survived and we're here. And it took me a while to see that. We're gonna hold a small ceremony and really bless the fire, thank the fire, and burn away anything that we feel called to. Maybe write it down and throw it into the fire.
It's very hard when you move away from the family to keep up with your tribe's traditions and things like that. It's so easy for them to fade away.
We're strong Indigenous women, and I feel like this is definitely a time for our voices to be heard. I've always sort of been soft-spoken and the peacekeeper, but through that I noticed like I was like raped and molested and like all these really terrible things, and I grew through it. I think with more meetings of Native American women, it is shifting because we all have similar stories. We can all hear it and know that we're not alone in this battle. This year, I really feel just the anger coming up. It's like I can't hold it in anymore. It has to come out. I just want to yell and scream and be like, hey, we're here, and fucking stop. Like, we're really sacred. And the fact that we're even here and didn't, our ancestors survived is really a miracle.
Thanks, Dr. Fowler, for showing that. So after watching the video, we want to ask one last polling question. So during the video, what unique strengths did you notice that this Native youth used to overcome trauma, learn how to heal, and empower other Native youth? Her culture, acknowledgement of ancestral guidance, letting youth know they are being heard and they are not alone. It's very good. Connection and resiliency, it's very important. Indigenous roots. Got help and talked about and shared her experiences with others that may be going through the same thing. Supporting others who may have been experiencing the same issues. Keep the poll open just for a bit longer. Inward strength. Again, thank you very much. All great responses. We'll go ahead and close the poll now and move on. So now we're going to get into the topic of healing. Healing is an important aspect of Native youth health and wellness. Healing is the process of the restoration of health from an unbalanced, diseased, or damaged organ. The result of healing can be achieved by providing a cure of a health challenge. So healing may involve two elements, physical response and emotional response. Holistic healing is the practice of health and wellness that considers the entirety of an individual, considering their internal and external factors which are affecting them. So healing traditions of Indigenous Native Americans have been practiced for over 12,000 years. Several practices within Native communities across Indian country include the following. While there are differences among tribes, health benefits and interventional strategies are shared, which include promotion of health. Promotion of health embraces biological, mental, social, and spiritual traditions. In Arizona, Native Americans run daily to greet the dawn, a practice that not only conditions their bodies, but also nourished their spiritual well-being. Stories and legends are used among Native Americans to teach positive behaviors and understand consequences of failing to observe the laws of nature. Herbs, manipulative therapies, ceremonies, and prayer are used in various combinations to prevent and treat these illnesses. So there are many ways that wellness may be applied in context. According to the National Wellness Institute, wellness is a conscious, self-directed, and evolving process of achieving one's full potential. Wellness can be multidimensional and holistic, while encompassing mental and spiritual well-being. So wellness in Native communities may have various meanings. As American Indian and Alaskan Native people, we often characterize health and wellness to include a broad meaning than just an absence of disease. These elements are intertwined to create balance within a strong and healthy individual that extends into the community they are a part of. Good health and healing require a balance of other people, the community that they are a part of, and their spiritual world. Included on this slide is a medicine wheel developed by a First Nation health organization in Canada, where they define what wellness means for their community. Each category of the medicine wheel has a list of examples that help assist in self-care. So one polling question that we would like to hear from the audience is, what does wellness mean for Native youth in your community? One response is they feel safe. Belonging. Feeling a sense of unity, acceptance and appreciated, a safe place to practice their culture and teachings. Very good. An opportunity for a new beginning. Give you all just a few more seconds to submit some answers. A tolerance or a no tolerance of judgment, and healing through spiritual, mental, and physically, and to promote creative young minds. Thank you all again for the participation in that poll. All very great responses that definitely, explain wellness within communities.
Kimberly, can you show the slide? And I had a technical issue, sorry.
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
Am I on the right side, Benjamin?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Fowler. So a recent study examined racial, ethnic, and cultural identity among American Indians and Alaskan Native adolescents by analyzing quantitative data collected from a baseline assessment of 185 American Indian and Alaskan Native urban adolescents from California. Adolescents who identified themselves as American Indian or Alaskan Native on the survey reported better mental health, less illicit drug use, lower rates of delinquency, and increased happiness. So participation in traditional practices more than 10 times in a lifetime have led to positive associations with delinquent youth behaviors and their spirituality. So earlier we defined resilience and provided a few examples on its importance when faced with different challenges. Cultural resilience is a relatively new term. It is a concept that predates the first point of contact with colonizers. Thus, resilience is not new to the Native community. Rather, it is a concept that has been taught for centuries. The word is new, but the meaning remains old. Research has shown that resilience is ordinary, not extraordinary. Resilience is a trait that all people possess. It involves behaviors, thoughts, and actions that can be learned or developed from others. Healing and wellness tools can create resiliency to face trauma that results in a better version of oneself. This cultivated version will allow us to support our friends, our families, and our communities, and Native youth across Indian country. So with that being said, I'll hand over the presentation back to Sabu from NCUIH so he can explain how American Indian and Alaskan Native youth can identify red flags when building healthy relationships. Thank you all for listening and participating in the poll questions.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So when thinking about healthy relationships, and we kind of touched base on it a bit throughout this youth healing, but I think that being able to have tools and have knowledge and have ways to identify red flags, in thanks to the Strong Hearts Native Helpline, who put this amazing information together, but understanding like what that means. So if you're in a relationship that your partner is moving too fast or pressuring you to commit, making jokes about your culture, putting you down for being Native, are some examples. Or not being there, not being supportive to you, and not encouraging you to quit school and to stop participating in activities, are just some of the various ways that being signs of being in an unhealthy relationship. And so if you experience this, and you know someone, it's always good to share with them resources, as it was mentioned earlier today by one of the responses. Have resources ready, right? So the Strong Heart Native Helpline is a resource. It is a place where you could call, and they're open pretty decent span in a day. I know that there's probably comments happening at the bottom, but hopefully it's in regards to this. But yeah, the number has knowledgeable advocates who connect with you on one-on-one to help you figure out options of what are some ways to deal with and kind of get through the struggles of being in an unhealthy relationship. Some other resources also provided by Strong Hearts is understanding what is healthy, understanding the unhealthy aspects of it, and maybe not knowing what healthy means could always be a problem. You might be struggling because there isn't information out there to help us get to a place to be with someone who is caring, to be with someone who respects you, treats you as your equals, talks openly, being able to talk openly with one another, listening in a non-judgmental way, enjoying spending time with one another, but while also respecting each other's space and privacy when needed. And really, recognizing and honoring one another's traditions and tribal beliefs, especially in the Native community, are some good examples of what healthy relationships could look like. And so we put this together to kind of share that with you, to let you know, it's one of the youth council's campaigns in Indigi-Love. So this hopefully is also a resource to you and to share with others at the end of the day. So in regards to our next part of our gathering, so this is now we're in part 3 of a 3-part step forward process. And so that part 3 is of the strength-based healing approaches is maintaining wellness, and understanding that and understanding how to help others heal.
Sabu?
Yes.
I'm sorry, are you sharing your screen?
Yes.
Okay, I was sharing my screen, so I think we were overlapping each other. My apologies. But I did hear that we should maybe provide the toolkit as a resource that people can view later in the interest of time, and move towards Unity's video to kind of get us to close out.
For sure. I'll stop sharing since you will put the video on.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were trying to share. My apologies.
No worries.
Hoping that everyone can see my screen, which is showing the Unity emblem logo. And I'm going to share their video now from Lauren Ashley. Once I find the play button. Okay.
Hi and welcome. My name is Lauren Ashley Buford, and I am the proud project manager of the Healing Indigenous Lives Initiative. This initiative is brought to you in part by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and a cooperative agreement with United National Indian Tribal Youth, or UNITY. UNITY is known for being the largest and oldest Native youth serving organization in the country. Together, they have come together to really develop a new program for Unity. It really focuses on youth that have been impacted by trauma, who may need healing, or who have overcome obstacles in their community and would like to share that resiliency and those tools to succeed with others. Unity partnered with several Native youth and created the Peer Guide Cohort. This cohort are a special group of leaders who have overcome different obstacles in their life, whether that be, facing delinquency or dropout rates in their communities, or going back and getting their GED later in life, or overcoming substance abuse or suicide prevention. All of these things are part of their story and what makes a peer guide so special, because they themselves have struggled in different areas, but what makes them so unique is their ability to share what got them through, what helped them heal, what helps them overcome those obstacles to still carry on being leaders in their community. One of the most amazing things about Native youth is their resiliency, their ability to be impacted by different systems, or maybe not coming from the best situations at home, but still to be a leader in so many different ways. The Unity Peer Guides is so excited to bring virtual trainings during this time when youth may need additional support. One of those trainings are going to be coming up with the Unity Virtual Conference. We hope that everyone who is learning and growing together here today will also join us for the 3 days of the virtual conference coming up this summer. With more information on how to heal and how to really connect to using your culture as prevention, the Unity Peer Guides have created individual messages that are posted on the Unity YouTube. Those resources can also be found at www.unityinc.org. So, healing. The best part about Unity is that it can adapt to really fit Native youth wherever you are because of the 4 core pillars of wellness. Unity is founded upon these 4 basic principles that help youth develop their leadership skills. We know that Native youth who live a balanced life are more able to really help others succeed. Not only are youth facing, having incarcerated family members, but also, maybe themselves have messed up in the past. We really want to give that opportunity to create healing in our communities to say, you know what, it's okay. We've all made mistakes, but it matters how we carry ourselves and move forward and learn to rebuild from any mistakes that we've made. So, working with Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention is.
I'm told that the video is a little choppy, so I'm wondering if we can link and share it later, Sabu.
Is it
If
choppy
that
for,
works.
is that choppy? Is it choppy for other people, or what is everyone's thoughts?
Yeah, it has it's kind of lagging.
There's a kind of choppiness to it.
Okay, no problem. But we do want to thank Unity for providing the video. We'll link it when we share the recording of this session in the PowerPoint. I'll turn it back over to you, Sabu, to lead us to our closing song or closing announcements or to the song.
Yeah, so
I need to stop sharing. Sorry.
No worries. Let me just get the. So with that being said, there is a couple of things I want to kind of talk about. So before we go and close out with our healing song, just wanted to highlight that the Youth Council applications for Cohort 3 will be released on June 25th. The date got pushed back because of COVID and all the complexities that come with that, but we're happy that it's still going to happen, and the end date is going to be July 24th. More information on that will be released. And if you have any questions, you could reach out to me. If you're interested in participating, please let me know. I want to now kind of give the mic and the ability to Lance, who is on the call, to do a closing prayer. Lance is thank you for joining, Lance. Thank you. Please stop sharing my screen because I don't need to share. Thank you for closing this out and giving us the much needed traditional songs to get our day nicely ended. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Lance Fisher. I'm introduced here with my Cheyenne name, Medicine Bear, and joining me is Giovanna Gross. She's gonna talk a little bit about the song we're gonna share.
Hi, my name is Giovanna Gross. I'm Oglala Lakota. I'm Peruvian, and so the song we're gonna sing is in Lakota, and it's a song specifically meant for the children. It was actually made by a young medicine man from our community within these last years, and it was made when there was a long string of suicides, like in a short period of time. And so they composed the song, and the words to the song go, the time to pray for the children is now. remember the children. The time to pray for the children is now. And so it's specifically meant for the youth. So yeah, that's just what we wanted to sing. It's just a general prayer song that you can sing, you know, at any outside of ceremony, in ceremony, and it's just a regular old prayer song.
Is the audio okay for everyone?
Yep.
Wanam wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wacheki aboya ayo wakanjakilena wota wokakishape keksuya aboya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wacheki aboya wakanjakilena ota hokakishape keksoya aboya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wanaya wacheki aboya wacheki aboya Yashma. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was really good. Thank you, Lance. Thank you for both of you for joining. It's important to end and to start gatherings around of Native communities this way, and so we appreciate you coming together and being part of that and giving that accessibility that's very difficult even now than before with COVID. So thank you so much, and we're 1,000 thank yous. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kimberly, did you want to mention anything before that you wanted to that I didn't bring up?
No, just I personally want to thank everyone again for joining our Native Youth Healing Gathering. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we will have all of the recordings, the PowerPoints, and the links to those videos posted on the Youth Council page on the NCUIH website. So please keep an eye out for those, and thank you again for joining us today.
Have a blessed day, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Have a
Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sabu.
Have a good one, Benjamin, Ben, and Serena.
Bye, everyone.
I hope
Bye.
I appreciate y'all being here with us, and get some rest, some well-needed rest.
You
You.
Great job, you all. Great job.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.